What is up, everybody? Jackson Wilkey here, your host with the Digital Mayor Now podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to bringing you today's top digital mayors and marketers to tell you exactly how they dominate leveraging their communities, social media, and video, making them the digital mayor of their community. All right, so on today's podcast, we have an incredible real estate agent out of Riverside, California. He's been in the top 5 for the past 4 years of real estate, so he's absolutely dominating. And he started a lot of his business with traditional methods. And even with as busy as he is today, growing his group of Leeper Realty Group, his focus is on becoming a digital mayor in his community and leveraging video daily. He does tons of content. He does interviews with the local community, stories. He's all about video because he's protecting his future in business. So really cool podcast today about how a guy who started traditionally realizes the value of content and video and being a digital mayor of his community. Stay tuned. All right, everybody. Welcome back to podcast number 7. Today we got an epic guest named Chris Leeper, and he is in the Moreno Valley area in California, which is the Riverside County area, east over there of the LA area, right?
Yeah, basically located right between Palm Springs and LA.
Lots of competition out there.
A lot of competition. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and what an honor, because Chris in the last 4 years has been in the top 5 with agents and reaching almost 250 transactions. So I mean, the dude has done some serious real estate transactions, and he's also owner of the Leeper Realty Group too, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Awesome. So this is, a podcast that we dive deep into becoming a digital mayor and doing the video and all that. But to have such a guest like yourself that's been in the game for so long, and done so much business, let's start talking immediately. Like, how did you start that? Was it more traditional ways of real estate?
Yeah, 100% more traditional. So I've been in the business for about 9 years, actually electrician by trade. So I kind of came out of the construction industry and I actually started my own contracting company, is kind of what the bridge was between construction and now selling real estate. I was working for a lot of banks and real estate agents, fixing the houses back up during the 2006, 7, 8, when everybody was trashing their houses because they were getting kicked out. So that's what kind of got my foot in the door in the real estate industry. But yeah, it's more or less old school real estate, hammering the phones. I was big on knocking doors early on. So again, this was 8, 9 years ago that kind of got started. And I was like most agents, I think, selling something close to like 10 to 12 deals a year for the first 3 to 4 years. And then just kind of took off from there.
What was it that really clicked that made you take off?
Honestly, it was the hustle.
Yeah.
I have a team now in place. There's 6 of us in total. And I really try to obviously teach them on what got me to the position I am today. And I was the first one in the office. I was the last one to leave. I was willing to learn from anybody that was willing to talk to me. And I just hustled, man. I would seriously get out there and knock 50 to 100 doors a day because I didn't have anything else to do. And I didn't know what else to do. So holding a lot of open houses, hammering the phones, knocking doors.
Yeah, and those are still pivotal parts to the game. They truly, truly are. But we're starting to see this, influx of, actually getting your face, your name out there using video. So when was it about, now you're starting to really crush it in real estate. You're using the traditional methods, but something hits your mind like, I need to enter into this video space too.
I think it was the same time that everybody heard about video. And so I would say something closer to like 7 years ago is when I feel like the push for video started to come. And it was really for previewing properties. People didn't want to see just pictures of homes anymore. They wanted to see an actual video of the home, not a slideshow of still images. They wanted to see an actual video. So you could probably go back on my YouTube. Please don't do it. You can see some of my early videos that are terrible.
I did.
Well, that's what got me started. And so honestly, it's not having the fear of failure. I don't mind. I'll get up in front of the camera and just spit. And it typically comes out pretty well.
Yeah, no, and I'm the same way too. I love being on video, but you have a lot of people who don't. And that's funny that you mentioned that. And I think you do know Ray Allen pretty good. We had him on as a guest, and that's how he started too. Was he kind of got in that space of like 360 tours and stuff, and also doing videos of property. So that was an early step for you, was marketing properties with video.
Yeah, that really was the first step. I did get in front of the camera a little bit, kind of introducing the property. So that was my first time actually in front of the camera. But there was some of like the shooting and editing without even my face on the camera of just featuring the properties. But yeah, me and Ray, we go back a little bit. We've probably known each other for about 3 or 4 years. And so we still talk today. And it's really nice he kind of helps hold each other accountable. He's putting out really nice products. So it's a lot of fun.
Is accountability one of the hardest parts about just, content and video?
I think for most,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's the accountability or the fear of being in front of the camera. The tough part is, and I know we kind of touched on this earlier, as you mentioned, I mean, I'm selling roughly 50 properties a year for about 15 million in volume. We're real estate agents too. It's really nice to be up here in front of the camera and put out as much content as possible. But I still have to meet with a lot of buyers and sellers. I still have to show up to a lot of appointments. So again, we sell real estate for a living. We don't just do videos for a living.
Absolutely.
It's kind of finding that mesh.
That's cool. Yeah. And I mean, it is a ton of time. But yeah, so it clicked for you. I actually did go back and saw some of your like 2014, 2015 videos, which video's been this thing we've been talking about forever, right? But when I interview some of these people looking back to 2014, 15, there's no videos. Like you decided in 14, well, let's shoot some videos. What was the reaction to like friends, family, business colleagues?
It's tough. I mean, at that time being, I don't know, I'll call it a pioneer in the video game. Yeah. I don't know if you know Christoph Chu. So I'm with Coldwell Banker, and he's a fellow Coldwell Banker agent, and he's selling all the $1 million stuff out in Beverly Hills. He was huge in video very, very early on. I went and sat at a seminar through Coldwell Banker. I think it was in Beverly Hills, and he spoke at, and I got an opportunity to talk with him one-on-one. And that was kind of a pivoting moment for me. He was just stressing on how important it was and being first to the game. It's one thing now because there's a lot of people in the space, a lot of people trying to push out content. Now it's how good is the content, how valuable is it to the audience that's watching. So
I mean, there is a lot more people doing it. There's still not nearly enough, for the industry you're in. But yes, it's that content that's captivating and catching. And we'll get into some of the stuff that you're doing that I love, But real quick, okay, now you've got this successful real estate business. There's so many that get caught in that trap of like, I want, what's going to work today. I want the next big thing, the lead today. You decided, okay, we're going to start doing some more video platforms that probably won't get us a deal tomorrow. Like, what went through your mind with that? Because it takes a lot of time and you're a busy agent.
Yeah, so I'm big on consistency. And that's in any type of marketing, whether you're knocking doors, dropping flyers, or whatever it is. You have to be consistent over a long period of time to build up that audience, to build up, I really think it's the respect of the people that you're giving the information to. So I'm definitely playing the long game here. If you can kind of do some of the short game, more immediate gratification with a lot of like the Instagram stories, you're still getting a lot of views on these platforms. And that's immediate. That's right now, only within 24 hours. So you can get some of that instant gratification, but it's really long-term. You mentioned that putting out content consistently over a long period of time. We've been running Riverside County Eats, which is like my food vlog. I encourage anybody to check it out, Facebook, Instagram. Riverside County Eats. We've filmed 12 episodes. We're just starting season 2, and I haven't even begun to leverage that to try to get business out of. I'm still big on pushing out content, trying to provide as much value to the community as possible before I even think about leveraging it. So again, that's just the change in mindset. It's long game.
Totally. Yeah. And I love that because it is hard to put some of this stuff out and not really get much engagement out of it. Or like, you kind of have the worries of like, man, is this really worth my time? But yeah, it's having that content build up. And I mean, we talked about it a little before and you'll go into it, but like, Gary Vee, what was it, 13 years or something before he really hit it big of just content. So that's your game.
I was going to mention that. I'm a big Gary Vee fan. And I think he did a video, probably 4 or 5 years ago. 1 is greater than 0. Mm-hmm. Talking about that one view on the YouTube page or the Instagram or whatever it happens to be. 1 view is greater than 0. And that's really all you need. You need one person to be able to watch that, and it could catapult you into a whole new level of either potential business or more opportunity. And one thing that actually we hadn't even talked about, the opportunities that I think doing the video that I've been doing over the last couple of years or so has provided an opportunity for me to be a partner with American Dream TV. They have asked me to be one of the representatives for the Riverside Temecula area. So that's going to be super high production, nationally televised show. I'm excited, man. I can't wait.
Yeah. And let's go into that. Like, just because you started doing videos and these fun restaurant interviews, which half the time you get free food and beers or whatever, and you may be business owners, and now you're going to be part of that American Dream TV. Like, what did that feel like when they reached out?
It was amazing. I mean, I was kind of shocked, in all honesty. This is kind of fun for me. Like, I really enjoy being in front of the camera now. I think I've gotten over the nervousness. I say that, but I was actually a little bit nervous to jump on the podcast here with you today.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of pushing through. You get past that, and all of a sudden, it's a lot of fun. You see how much value you're providing to the audience that's watching. And yeah, I never really thought about it like that, but I'm kind of turning into the American dream by pushing out all this content. Now they're asking me to be on a nationally televised show. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And I mean, you're doing the business, interviews and stuff, but that's not like, and I'm doing it too. That's not like the most brand new concept. There's kind of pre-written programs out there of people doing this. It's just really doing it in your area because the people in your area haven't seen that concept yet.
Yeah, they call it hyper local, and I don't even know if it's the people in our area haven't seen that concept, because everybody watches HGTV, everybody watches Flip That House, so there's a lot of that. But I think it's seeing somebody that they actually know, seeing somebody in the community that they either went to school with or have done a transaction with, or I play softball and I go snowboarding and I go out to the desert. I just so many groups of people. They're like, hey, wait a minute, I know that guy. And I think that just drawing that connection, it means a lot. It's reality TV, and we've known for 10, 15 years, reality TV sells, especially when it's people that you know.
Yeah, like the Triple D Diner Drive-In Dive style, I was told once it's on its 28th season and only gaining popularity. So like, yeah, if you take that, that's kind of what people want. They want that digestible content that's fun, food, the whole nine.
And draw the connection there. It's not just me providing value to my clients. It's really pushing out anybody that's moving into the area. They don't want to know about the Chili's or Olive Garden or McDonald's that's down the street. Everybody knows about that. Yeah. Where are the little hidden gems? Where's that little dive bar that nobody knows about? Where's that great burger joint that, you have to get the whatever burger it is on the menu? If you don't know somebody here in town, you're never going to find out about those spots. So that's really the whole idea of that show, is finding the local sweet spots and being able to share that with everybody.
Yeah. And anything that's coming soon.
Yeah.
Being on top of that. I was told one, by a guy that's, he does a lot of marketing, but people, and we're talking videos and food, but again, to go back, we're real estate agents. And he said it once, is very interesting, was, people aren't out there to qualify you. They're there to disqualify you. So like having the reviews and having your content out there helps to qualify you instead of disqualify you. And I always took that with me of like, that's a good way to, put it. And when you have like a product that you're trying to buy, you always go to Amazon and read the reviews. You don't care what your friend told you about it. You want to read the reviews. So that leads me straight into, I love your testimonial videos. Like, when did that come about?
I've been trying to produce those videos for probably close to 2 years. We do client appreciation at least once a year. We're trying to push this out to more once a quarter for our client appreciation events. Right now, because they are only once a year, we do a huge event. We have 300, 400, 500 people come out. Again, I do have a team, so we're expanding as far as not just my 250 clients. So we have everybody there. We have the cameras rolling because, again, big on video. So I want to be able to feature the client appreciation party that we're doing. And I want people to kind of like, oh man, my agent isn't doing that. How come I'm not getting any love? We're giving away 55-inch TVs and the Amazon Alexas and the Echo Dots and the smart locks and all that stuff. I mean, I want people on the outside, because these are kind of my VIP group of people. I want people on the outside saying, wow, look at what they're doing, and I want to be involved with that. So again, I have the cameras rolling. It was just a perfect opportunity to slide them into the office and then ask them about their experience. So I've seen a handful of other agents that are putting together those client testimonials, and it's super impactful. I mean, you can go on Zillow, see a 5-star review, but if you're actually watching a video and seeing facial expressions and hearing a little bit more of the story, I mean, it goes a long, long way.
Yeah. And for the most part, are your clients pretty cool with doing that?
I have to do a little bit of coaching. At first, they're reluctant, and believe it or not, so are the restaurant owners. They're
Yes.
very reluctant in the beginning. When I say, "Hey, I would love to come in and shoot a commercial," it's 100% for free. I'm not asking for anything from you. They're like, "Well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What do you want then?" Most people aren't used to just getting things for free, so the restaurant owners kind of pull back a little bit. But the same with the clients. They're just nervous. They're nervous about getting on camera. They don't know what they're supposed to say, and so I tell my video guys, start rolling. And then I just start asking them questions. And I'm like, how did we meet? Just
Yeah.
tell the camera how we met. Tell the camera how you felt when I brought you the first offer. You know, what was the transition like between when we got you this home sold and I was able to move you into the next one? Just tell your story. And as soon as I can get them to open up a little bit about that, and then we just do some of the cuts and edits of me asking the question. But I'm not like coaching them up, trying to tell them, say something that didn't actually happen, but they just don't know how to tell their story.
I think that's an awesome point because to get these reviews and stuff is so great for your character, for your business. So that was an awesome point to just say, hey, simply, start rolling the camera first of all. But second of all, because it's just like shooting video for the first time. You're so worried about what you're going to say and what you look like. And then once you do it more and more and more and more, and once these people start talking, they kind of forget the camera's on and, they'll open up a little more.
Yeah, the more natural I think that you can get whoever is on in front of the camera, the more natural and raw, authentic, I think the better the footage is going to be.
Yeah. And you've got a few more things we'll talk about that you're doing video wise, but I want to take it back because we pre-rolled talked about this a little bit. And you're big on document versus create. You want to go, into depth about what you mean by that?
Well, I'll go back to just being real, raw, and authentic in front of the camera. If you're trying to create something that's not there, I think that people are going to see right through it. And this goes back to the client testimonials. I'm trying to document that process, not having them create something out of thin air. And again, I think that with video, we can see face to face, we can look in each other's eyes, and when something's off, when they're kind of like faking it, I would say. So I think that thought of document versus create helps me feel a little bit more natural in front of the camera because I'm not trying to be something I'm not.
Yeah.
If we were sitting down at the bar having a beer, we're going to have this exact conversation. And so I think it's more of a mentality than it is actually any form of production or anything like that. It's just think about documenting what you're already doing. You're going out and previewing properties, you're meeting with clients, you're having office meetings and things like that. So just having the camera rolling, everybody always gets all tensed up and feel like they have to start acting. And I think it's, like I said, document, don't create.
Be yourself. Yeah. And talk about the things that you know already about and love. And that's when it comes a little more, relatable and understandable. But that goes right into, a few of the other videos I saw, which is really good for agents to do, I think, is it looked like on one of them, it's the tip of the day, but you were leaving a listing presentation and you must have gotten a question that you always get and you recorded it right there in the house. And it was awesome.
Yeah. And it's actually one of the things that I'm trying to pass on down to my team. That was some of the early video that I did was just the old school selfie style. It doesn't have to be super high production. It doesn't have to be, have all the audio. I mean, we had some audio troubles getting started here. It doesn't have to be all that. Just throw the pods in and call it good. But yeah, I mean, you start getting the same exact questions over and over and over from your client, or you start walking in, you're showing up to a listing to take photos and videos. And now you're having to, again, coach the clients, clean this stuff up, get the house ready, move the cars out of the driveway. So we're so busy. We talk about having to sell 50 properties a year and manage a team and shoot video and get your clients to do client testimonial videos and put on these huge parties for it. There's so much to do. Any opportunity that I can save time, I'm going to try to do that, obviously. So getting the same questions from your clients, if I can create a short 15, 30-second video on that, anytime they ask me, I'm just like quickly sending them that video, or I'm on the phone with my assistant already anyway. Hey, send that video over to, Mr. Smith or whatever, because he's asking the same questions that we always all get.
Yes, the same questions. And that's great. We've talked about it a few times, but that's why you see some agents just film in their car. It's great sound booth, great lighting. And it's a tip that they've heard 3, 4, 5 times,
Right.
Those are great, quick little tips that aren't like, hey, I'm a real estate agent, use me. It's you're giving value. You touched on value earlier. I think we all need to, do more value.
That's big for me and my team. And I really stress that we don't ask for the business, we earn the business. So we push value, almost make them feel guilty for not using us. In the knowledge broker, we're the hyper local knowledge broker and just provide so much value and just stay in front of them constantly. the phone just rings. I don't like asking for the business. I prefer to earn it.
Yep. And that is the biggest message we're trying to create with all this, is just to get the phone to ring, to eliminate a lot of the, commission objections that we're getting with discount brokers, where
Oh, yeah.
they're reaching out. Are you seeing that a lot now? People are just reaching out and wanting to work with you because of what you've done.
I love that you mentioned the discount brokers. I'm closing a property next week down in Paris. They fired a company that there was a flat fee that they had to pay regardless. Home didn't sell in 3 months. I took the listing in 2 weeks. I had multiple offers on the property.
Yep.
They ended up paying, they're going to be paying me my commission as well. They also paid that discount broker the flat fee, whatever that was. But we're just doing so much more. It's not, especially in the shifting market that we're getting into, it takes more than just throwing that property in the MLS.
Right. And in a shifting market, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, I think early on, and if you look back, even today, and I know some of the stats, and it's going to be different for everybody in each different area. But for a lot of people know Southern California, a lot of people know LA. So LA, multi-million-dollar homes, everybody's been using professional photos and professional videos for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's slowly trickling into the rest of the country. And then again, our average sale price being right around $335. Not all the time do you need to do staging in the property, professional photos, professional videos. But why do we do that? So that we can stand out amongst every other agent in the area. Now everybody's doing professional photos, professional videos. That's kind of like a minimum guideline now. In order to take a listing, you should be delivering that. So now what do? We have to step it up with the video now. Yeah. Now let's get in the front of the camera. Now let's do some Facebook ads, Instagram ads. Again, I like fish where the fish are at. So we already know where everybody's at. We know everybody's spending all their time on Instagram. Why not be pushing all of our content out on those platforms where people are already at?
So you're using Instagram a lot then?
I'm big on Instagram. Yeah. AgentLeeper, if you want to check us out. I push a ton of content, daily content. And it's tough because we're running 2 pages. The Riverside County Eats, we push out daily content. My personal page, AgentLeeper, pushing out daily content. And we're getting a ton of views on the stories. I think a lot of people are talking about it now, but I've put a lot of focus in this over the last 12 months. We're getting a ton of engagement through Instagram stories.
Really? That's awesome.
Repurposing our content to vertical video. A lot of people were going horizontal for quite some time. It's back to vertical video, and IGTV. There's not a lot of people that are using it. Mm-hmm. And it's tough. It's a lot of editing. Unless you're going to do it yourself, you're going to end up paying some company to shoot it this way because it needs to be this way for YouTube.
Yep.
Then you have to convert it this way for Instagram, and now Facebook is actually going more this way as well. So more vertical as well.
Yeah, I found that, with the live especially. But one trick we've done to kind of capture it all is if the video's a minute or less, is shooting it horizontal, and then I kick it over to Keynote and make it perfectly square. And that shows up on Instagram. It shows the whole picture as well. So, but it's got to be under a minute, because that's all they accept. But I love hearing the stories too, because we're starting to hear that a lot. And so what kind of stuff are you putting in the stories?
I encourage everybody to go check it out. I did a little clip of my whole setup here. I got the computer on a tripod and the microphone up and just say, hey, getting ready for a podcast. Yes. I was at a listing appointment earlier this morning. I just take a couple of shots of the house and say, hey, property coming soon, something along those lines. It's just more on a day-to-day. And this goes 100% back to documenting versus create. Just show what you're doing throughout the day. People are genuinely curious. We're getting 200, 300 views on our story. And I've been trying to focus on getting my followers up, but to go back to the Gary Vee thing, it's not about width, it's about depth. So I'm trying to go real deep with the people that are already following us and not trying to get more and more and more, because I don't think always more matters.
Yeah.
Provide more value to the people that I have, then I think the return will be even greater. So we're somewhere up 1,300 followers or something like that. It's not a huge number, but getting 300 views on 8 to 10 stories that I put out on a daily basis, I'm staying top of mind. When that real estate conversation comes up over dinner, or they're talking with their buddies on a Saturday night or something, they're going to mention my name. This guy, Chris Leeper, he's everywhere doing the food thing, doing, all the stuff. So it's been huge.
Yeah. And you'll always get that friend or coworker who's like, that's too much, that's too much content. No,
I'll take it.
Exactly. Look at the views we're getting. And again, this is an agent who's done, you've done so much business and the traditional way, and you've seen what, the future holds with us. And so preparing now instead of waiting, you're going to be so far ahead of the game. I mean, the people are just going to be dying to catch up.
Yeah, we talked about a little bit about that too in pre-production there. Yeah, my old school stuff, knocking doors and hammering the phones. And yeah, that's certainly a way to get yourself in front of 50 or 100 people. It's going to take you 8 hours to do that, whether you're hammering the phones or knocking doors. But now I can shoot a quick video, get in front of 300 people on my stories. It's just way more efficient. And like you said, building up that library. Now, anytime somebody goes to my page, they're going to see the hundreds of videos that we've already created. And an agent that's getting started today, which I strongly encourage you to do, you have to start somewhere. So get out there and do it now. But yeah, we definitely have the leg up on anybody that's getting started now. You saw my videos, 2014. Yeah. Oh man, I wouldn't want to put that out with the audience that I have today. So if you have a smaller audience, don't be afraid to get yourself out there and stumble over a couple of words or whatever. It's not a big deal. You look the way you look. It is what it is.
Well, there's a really good concept about this. Like, okay, I go and I look at your videos, and I didn't judge the video quality or anything. I'm looking at you and like, what's this guy really like? And I'm like, dude, I'd do some real estate with this guy. Like, is this helping you to work with your niche avatar more too?
I believe so. Yeah, I definitely do. I'll be 34 in 6 days. So the group of, I don't know, just being in high school, all of my friends are kind of late bloomers and buying houses over the last 5 years or so. And typically my MO, I'm selling my friends their house, and about a year to two later, I'm selling the parents' house because they're trying to downgrade or downsize. So it definitely helps. I mean, people want to do business with people they know, love, and trust.
Right.
Pushing yourself out there in front of the video. Like you said, you're not looking at quality. You're just looking like, who is this dude? What's he about? And so, yeah, it's definitely an icebreaker. What I'm also trying to do to leverage the video a little bit more is I'm going on a listing appointment, whether they called off a Zillow or off a sign or whatever it happens to be, sending them our content before we even get there. So that way, the first time they meet me is not actually the first time they've seen me face to face. So that's huge for us, pushing all the content out in front. That way I don't have to show up and sell myself, which I don't like doing.
That's awesome.
I have a reputation. I have a track record of who I am and what I'm about. So if I can push that out in front, then I don't have a lot of the objections that I think most agents are handling on an appointment to appointment basis.
Yeah, where it's a 100% sales pitch. You're showing up and talking more about, okay, this is what we're going to be doing.
And again, not asking for the business. I feel like I've already earned it. So when I walk in, I'm like, this is my listing. And I act that way. And it's kind of the assumption. And the clients, I think, feed off of that as well. And they're just more like go with the flow as well, because they're like, oh, I already know this guy. I watched 6 of his videos. He seems super down to earth. I read all of his reviews. Now I'm watching his reviews. Again, you just don't get the objections. It makes that listing appointment really, really easy. I mean, I've got this thing down to like 30 minutes. So I go in and sign the contract and I'm gone. Yeah. There's not a lot of anything else happening.
And then are you also leveraging video in like just text messages to potential clients and future clients?
Yeah, not as well as I'd like to in the future. I'd like to do like some of the canned recordings that I already have, pushing those out through text. Most of the video text I do right now is just, I do the quick record. Hey, thanks so much for taking a look at that property. If you have any questions, please feel free to hit me back.
People love it too.
Yeah. Oh no, it's great. It's great. If I can do more of the canned videos that I already have lined up, again, with top 10 questions from a buyer, top 10 questions from a seller. If I can get that library built up, yeah, man. I mean, I'm duplicating myself.
Yeah. And I mean, but as simple as anybody you meet in an open house or whatever, sending that thank you video, it's like almost 100%, engagement back. Like, wow, I love that.
It's huge. You set yourself apart from everybody else. It's huge. I mean, it's hard to measure that. So what's the ROI on sending a video text message? And it's really hard to measure that type of thing.
Right.
But it's made leaps and bounds in my business. So I strongly encourage everybody to jump on board.
It almost takes less time to do that than to type it out, because I had open house last weekend, and 2 people that I really hit it off with, I sent video messages to. There was a couple other that weren't really working, but we just didn't hit it off. 2 of them that like I hit it off. I stood out front of the open house. I was like, I just met you at this open house. It's in the background. I really thank you for coming. Yada yada, and just sent these messages, and both of them said, "Oh my gosh, that is so great." Yesterday we went and showed a $850,000 house to a couple. So like, and they're like, we just loved your video. That was so cool. Like, it was so personal. It's like, do it every time.
Huge. And no, it's huge. It's huge. The other thing that you can do with that is making sure you're getting the right number when they sign in.
Yeah.
Hey, perfect. I'm going to send you a text here real quick and just open up that line of communication. So you're kind of cross-checking that phone number that they gave you. I mean, the other thing that we're doing at our open houses is sending a property-specific website. Not only do we do professional photos, professional videos, but then we also have, it's all hosted back to a property-specific website. So when we're at the house, we send it over to them. Hey, as soon as you leave here, you guys are going to go out to lunch or you're going to go look at 3 other properties. You're probably going to forget. Here, let me get you over all this information right now. And I immediately text it to them or email. But again, I'm validating the contact information that they gave me.
Right.
So kind of a way to get more accurate information.
Yeah, I love it. And just the simple thank you videos on your phone.
Yeah.
And man, you stumble them and you don't have to be perfect in them, but just a thank you. If you need anything, I'm here. And you'll almost every time get a response back.
I think the stutter, I think when you get hung up on something, I think that makes you more real. I think it makes it more raw. And I think people can relate to that even more. So I think of it as an asset.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the first few I did, like, I would try and get that really like that perfect one that was scripted.
Yeah.
And it ended up becoming my face lost interest. And I was like, monotone, where the first one would have been the best one. So now, yeah, I just take one and send it out. Whatever just comes out in my mind, hit them up with that.
Yeah, my Riverside County Eats videos, it's typically like first take, second take. If I start getting into the 4th and 5th and 6th take, I can't even do it anymore.
No.
It's not real. It's not natural. It's not authentic anymore.
It is tough. It takes some time and everything. But when you get somebody who's like making that meal or something and really proud of it, it goes a lot smoother than you'd think.
Completely.
Get some really good footage. And you're going to season 2 on that. So you must have saw some really good value in it.
It's a lot of fun. And right now it's more brand awareness. It's more me pushing myself out there, not being, hey, buy or sell some real estate with me. So I don't like being that pushy type sales guy. So this is just a way to keep me in front of the community. And all I'm doing is providing value. So it's just doing business the way I prefer to.
Yep. Creating those, relationships with business owners too is never a bad thing.
Huge.
Well, I think that was awesome today. I mean, I love talking to people who are just doing this and not expecting an immediate result. You're a seasoned agent who's just done a ton of real estate, who sees the value in simple video, getting it out on the platforms. What you've mentioned it a few times, but let's just kind of round it up here. Like some of the ways that they can go and look at some of your content and where they can find you.
Yeah, and real quick, before it just becomes an ad about where you can find me, I encourage you to reach out. If you guys have questions about anything I'm doing, camera work, microphone, how did I do it? How am I communicating with the business owners? I'd love to share any of that information. We've mentioned a couple of other names on here already, and that's what's so huge about the community that I think you're building through a podcast like this is getting agents together and sharing what's working. I think there's plenty of business out there for all of us to get our fair share or our unfair share. But it's guys like you that are bringing the real estate community together. We can all provide value to one another. We can all teach each other something. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can find me on Instagram, AgentLeeper, or Riverside County Eats. And then on Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, we're all over the place. Chris Leeper here in Riverside County. Yeah, if you can't find me, you're not looking hard enough.
Yeah, right. That's how it should be too. Dude, I love it. Well, that's really all I got for you. I know you're a busy guy, so I'll get you going, but that was just straight fire. There was so much good stuff. And I'm hoping that when people hear this, that they just, okay, now this guy's super busy and he's doing it. Like, it's so important, I think, for business now to get your face out there to the masses.
It's easier than you think, and all you have to do is get started. So don't hesitate. Just get out there and start filming. The first few aren't going to be as good, but you just learn from it, and it's progression, not perfection, which I think is huge. So get out there and hit it. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, not a problem, man. You have a great day.
All right, take care.
All right, that is a wrap for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to learn how to be a digital mayor, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you like our Facebook page. If you would like to learn advanced strategies and how to implement them, join our premium Facebook group and see that in the comments for the link. Now go be the digital mayor of your community now.